And here we are. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. This is SOULution Sunday because the soul is the solution. We are infinite beings having a physical experience. And now it is our wake up call in humanity. It is time for us to remember who we truly are and set ourselves free from the limitations of the past. So this morning, I am here with all of the angelic realm and the human representatives with Kathy Bradley and Keith Leon. So for anyone who's watching who doesn't know who I am, my name is Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing and creator of the Facebook group Soul Sourced Healing, where we gather together and we use the wisdom of the soul to look at our bodies in a different way so we can take healing to a higher level, a more natural, a more easy path to becoming the radiantly healthy soul self. And today we have with us 5-time award-winning, international best-selling author and publisher, Mr. Keith Leon. Woo!
Woo-hoo.
And we have best-selling author, consciousness facilitator, and founder of Kathy Bradley and the Angels. Ms. Kathy Bradley's in the house. Woo!
Woo.
So good morning to you
Thank
both.
you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Kathy and I have been friends for many, many years. Kathy and I collaborated. Actually, she added a chapter to my book about talking with the angels. And Keith has written a book called Walking with the Angels. So today we want to talk about the angelic realm and how we can receive information and guidance. So the three of us are just allowing the information to flow through easily and organically in this conversation. And if you're watching live on Facebook, please feel free to ask questions or comment in the chats, and I'll do my best to monitor the chat. So if you've got questions, give them to us. So Keith, let's start with you. What is your experience with walking with the angels?
Wow, that's a big question. My experience is that they've been with me and shown themselves so many times in my lifetime, and at this point, there's when I wrote my book, Walking with My Angels, I had should have died 7 times when I wrote that book, but have been saved over and over and over again. It's actually 9 now. So two
Like
more
a
just
cat.
since I wrote the book. Yeah. And so which is wild. And so a lot of those happened when I was young. I was very young, and I was seeing miracles. And so I knew at a young age, like, there must be some reason that I'm here, or I would have already be gone. So what is that? What is that? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And so that's really was my quest. And so that's why really the first book that put me on the map was Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life, where I wrote about that I was in that question and how I received the answer to that question. And I just kind of sort of alluded to what I ultimately ended up writing and was waiting to be instructed to write, was Walking with My Angels. And so really that's what I call my life purpose book, Walking with My Angels, because that was a huge part of the purpose that I'm on the earth, was to write that book, this book, because it introduces the angelic realm in a different way than a lot of people do. It introduces a different type of angel than most people know about or talk about, and also I reached kind of a different group of people. So people who, already love angels liked the book, but who I was able to reach with this book was people who normally wouldn't even entertain the thought of angels. Those red type energies, grounded business types that looked at me and said, "Wait a minute, he's a successful businessman, he's a father, he's not like a hippie wearing a dashiki with the joint hanging out of his mouth. He like and he's talking about angels? Like, really?" Right? And I was able to reach a group of people that normally would not even entertain that, and that was the beautiful part, was seeing people just open up to possibilities.
Wow, how beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. And Kathy, how about you? How did you get connected to the angels?
So I would say for me, it really started with nature. And I always had a very close connection with anything of the nature realm. And I was called at one point to write a book, and it was Messages Are Everywhere. And it's a little book, but I would find messages that came through, which were really one of the ways that the angels work, is what I found out. So, for example, one time our little dachshund passed away. And the day before, I'd been sitting outside with my son and my husband looking up at the clouds. And I said, so many messages come through the clouds. I said, it's absolutely amazing. And they were like, oh God, here she goes again. So now, so 24 hours forward, unfortunately, our little dachshund fell into the pool and passed away.
Mm.
My son found him when he woke up. Him and my husband were going out to football practice. When they were leaving the driveway, they look up in the sky and they see a huge cloud of a dachshund.
Mm.
Now, if this had come through me to them, it wouldn't have meant half as much as them seeing it. And then they were like, oh my God, mom yesterday was just talking about the messages of the clouds. Doxy's letting us know he's okay.
Oh,
So it's really cool once you open up to all the messages, and the angels come through and they connect with us in very natural ways, because we are natural, right? We are on this earth and we have air, water, earth, and fire. So they work through us and give us these beautiful messages. And unfortunately, a lot of people think it's got to be like, ta-da, the angels come to me and it was like a blast. No, it's really the natural things. It's the cloud in the sky, or it's the rose with the dew reminding us of love,
Mm.
and how that's the most important thing that we have, or the sunshine reminding us that we are light and we are light beings. And it's interesting because I wrote this book, The Light Becomes You, and Archangel Gabriel, who communicates about insights and inspirations and hope, gave me that name for the book. My name was entirely different. My name for the book was Remember Who You Are. And it was like,
Mm.
the light becomes you. And so I changed the name, obviously. And I thought afterwards, well, this is interesting. It has a lot of connotations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The light becomes you. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. They can share inspiration and guidance for us when we get quiet, we go within, and then we hear the answers. And it may come through at that light becomes you. And so I changed the name, obviously. We're being reminded.
Yeah,
They're playing with us.
there's
They're
so much
playing.
there's so much in that, what you just said. I like to share that the angels come to us in ways that we'll be able to wrap our head around it, ways that
Mhm.
we will know that it's them. And so a lot of times, if people are brand new to inviting the angels, some people call it evocation, I call it an invitation. When you finally say, yes, please show yourself to me, you have my permission, because we have free will to show yourself to me, they start showing up in like baby steps, in ways that you would be able to go like, oh, okay, I asked for it, there it is. It's not a big grand thing like you said, but it's an answer, so I get it. And the more of those little manifestations that you receive, then your subconscious mind, which really does run the show in this thing we call a body, right, does run the show in a way. Once your subconscious mind can start to wrap around it and go, oh, there are angels, then you're able to even see more. And they show up in even greater ways. And I love reading your bio, Kathleen, because because it said you hear, see, sense, all have experienced angels in all the senses. And when people ask me that at live events, they usually always, do you hear them? Do you see them? Do you? And they do the whole list, and I just go, whatever you ask me, the answer is yes. And that's what they had to do to get me to finally believe. I was so not
Mm.
a believer. They had to show up where I heard them, where I saw them, where I sensed them, where I, felt them, like everything, where I smelled in the room, like rose with go by, like I had to have it every way. And then I actually had to have an angel come to me in the flesh and spend time with me, training me how to perform miracles by showing me miracles. Like it took all of that to get this dense head to finally truly believe, because an angel in the flesh would show me a miracle on Monday, and by Tuesday I'd be like, nah, that didn't happen.
Mm.
It took a lot. It took a lot to get it through this thick skull, but once it did, then I was on the path and able to really support people in doing what you're talking about. I call it sit, ask, and listen. A lot of people sitting, a lot of people
Mm.
asking, but do we really listen until we receive the answer to the one question that we asked, and continue to ask the one question till we receive an answer? Or do we just, like, I'm an entrepreneur, or do we have that shiny object syndrome? The next time something comes along, it's like, oh, shiny, and then we forgot we even asked the question to begin with. So sit, ask, and then I listen until I receive an answer. And that's really the book that the two of you are in, Navigating the Clickety-Clack. That was an answer to, well, if I'm not doing this, because I was doing the angel tour, and then it got momentum, everything was going great, and then boom, the COVID thing, right? So it shut everything down. So it was like, well, if I'm not doing my life purpose book, then what am I here to do right now? And then I just sat in that and waited and waited and waited, and then clickety clack, how to live a peaceful life, right? It came so strong. I was like, wow, that's okay, that's juice, because I knew it had to be something juicy, exciting, would make a difference in the world, or it wouldn't even, I would be like, whatever, because I was doing this, right? It had to be something incredible that would change lives. So yeah, I love the way you put that. The answers are within, and we just need to sit and listen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of my greatest teachers, his name is Jim Self of Mastering Alchemy. He always says the answer lies where the question is asked.
Hmm.
And so many of us, we ask the question and then we go look for the answer. It's not
Out
the way it
there.
works. Let the answer come to you. When we
Yeah.
start operating from that wisdom, from the quiet, from the stillness, our soul. We don't have a soul, we are the soul. That's my whole
Mhm.
thing is we are the angels in bodies. When we're not in these physical bodies, we are the angels. This is who we are. It's our natural state. We're non-physical beings. So when we get really
Mhm.
quiet, that's where all of our inner guidance and our wisdom is. So when we get really quiet and we ask those questions and we just sit and we allow that answer to reveal itself, it makes
Hmm.
life so much easier.
Hmm.
That's You're right. And it's so interesting how things develop and move with ease and grace when we move into that space. It's kind of like the whole navigating the clickety clack. You put it out there, Keith, and then it was just so beautiful. There are no coincidences. Then Lisa was invited, and then Lisa invited me, and I thought, wow, that was so serendipitous. It was so much fun and easy, and that's how it goes. It's kind of like you listened, Keith. You said, okay, what else can we do to make a difference, especially during this time of clickety clack?
Right.
where there's so much drama and chaos and noise. How
Yeah.
can we bring the people back? And then, so you were this beautiful tool and you make it so easy. And then Lisa's all about, bringing people back into the wisdom and the knowledge of the body. And the body is such a sacred temple, housing our soul so that we get to live on purpose, creating heaven on earth. That's what we're
Mm,
here for.
yes.
The angels, a lot of people seem like they kind of become afraid of the angels, like they're not worthy. And let me tell you, it's never about that. There's nothing we need to do to deserve. The angels are there to assist us, to help us. They're messengers. So, like, why wouldn't we connect with them? We get this
Right.
wonderful wisdom. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then we can move above this chaos and drama, because that's what's going on now. We're just ascending. The earth is ascending, we're ascending, and we're moving up out of the quagmire, out of the junk. But it has to come up to be cleared.
Hmm.
And it's messy. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's stuff. We're all going through these crazy things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's all beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's really,
Yeah.
this is humanity's healing event.
Hmm.
Healing,
Mm,
we have such a, as humans, we have the whole wrong idea about what healing is. We think, or at least I did, and I look around and I see many people have the same idea. We think that healing just simply means that everything that was out of alignment, everything that was painful, just simply dissolves and goes away. That's
Yeah.
not how it quite happens. The body goes through a transformational process. Healing is a process of transforming. I talk about it like, if you have an old house and you want to update the house and remodel the house doesn't just remodel itself. You don't just go in one day and ta-da, there it is. Yeah, you have to go in, you have to hire the construction crew, and they have to rip out all the old stuff. It's dirty, it's messy, it's noisy, it's uncomfortable, it's
Right.
ugly.
Yeah.
And then once you rip out all the old stuff, you lay the new foundation, you build the new structures, then you do all the finishing work, then you have your upgraded home.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with our bodies. The healing process is dirty and messy and noisy. We have lumps and bumps and pain and flatulence and vomiting, fevers, congestion, coughing. That's all part of the healing process. So the clickety-clack that we're going through now as humanity, this is part of our healing process. It's our process of transformation, moving from one state of being where humanity has been for hundreds of thousands of years, living in the noise and confusion and the limitation and the lack. And
Mm.
now we're moving into these higher frequencies where we do get to create heaven on earth. I like to say that heaven is not a place. We've all been taught that heaven is a place that's off yonder that we go when we die.
In the
It,
future.
right? It's like, no, heaven is a state of being.
yeah.
Heaven is when we are living in full harmony and alignment with our souls, with the earth, with the plants and animals, and with each other.
Mm.
But what do you guys have to say about heaven?
Well, heaven or hell, you can experience either or right here on Earth, and
Exactly.
can't we?
Been living in the hell
Can't
for a
can't we
very
all relate to that?
yeah.
This last year feels as close to hell, or last days it's called
Mhm.
in the Bible. I've been telling a lot of people, hey, when I read about that, I didn't quite think they would be happening in my lifetime because it's like everything that was predicted is like happening right in this moment, which is mind blowing. But going back to what you said about the healing, it takes a team. So using construction analogy, right? You hire the contractor, which I think is guardian angel, and then once the contractor, he brings in a team. So that would be all the other angels. That'd be the archangels and all the other angels that you want to call in. And we all have our contractor. So those of you who are like, I don't have an angel, we all have at least one. That's called your guardian angel, right? And guardian angel, they really only have two jobs: love you unconditionally, get you to your predetermined expiration date. Because yes, there's predestination. We're here for a certain time, right? And that's their job. And so that's all they can do unless we invite them in, give them permission to do more. And once you do that, they're like, ooh, yay, finally, I've been bored, loving you unconditionally, getting you to your predetermined expiration date, bored out of my mind. Now we get to play. Are you kidding me? Let's go. And they start showing up. And so you can have fun with your guardian angel and start there with your guardian if you're new to this. Uh, because rare are the days when somebody who's new to it says, Archangel Michael, show yourself to me, and then Archangel Michael appears in a form that you can see him. You know, that's like if Archangel needs to get you from A to Z in 2 days, then that happens. Other than that, it seems like it usually comes in smaller forms to help you grow into being able to manifest something like that.
Mhm. Absolutely. What do you think about heaven, Kathy?
Well, exactly like he said, I think we are here creating heaven or hell, depending where we put our attention point.
Yeah.
So when you put your attention on your intention of being happy and healthy and in harmony and peace, and it's a moment by moment choice. All we have is the present moment. We just keep getting caught up in this crazy circling of moving into the past of our stories of what happened to us where we're victims, or we move into the future of worry and what's going to happen out there in the unknown. But in this present moment, which is where the power is, if we choose in this moment, I want to feel good. I am good. I am happy. I am centered and calm. Then we see how that feels in our body because it's an experience. It's not something up here. So very often people will say, okay, I got it, but I'm not getting it. It's like, yeah, we need to experience it, right? So heaven on earth is we're experiencing everything through the touch, through the smell, through the sight. So we get to choose how we want to experience ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
calling in our guardian angels, like you said, calling them in, we've been given free will. The interesting thing is the angelic realm has no free will. We have been given the free will. They're there to work with us and to be there for us to guide us. It's
Mm-hmm.
up to us if we want to invoke them into our daily life. And typically I see where most people have at least two guardian angels, and then they may have a whole host of angels with them,
Right.
depending on what's going on in their life. Right? It's kind of like, you see someone, it's like, whoa, there are like hundreds of thousands of angels around them because of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a song.
Right?
There's a song I heard many times at spiritual centers called "I'm Choosing Heaven Today," and I love that song because that's what it's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's that's what I'm choosing, and when I choose that and then stay in that moment, it's like where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're choosing heaven, then energy,
Mm-hmm.
God, spirit, universe, angels, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't care what you call it as long as you call it, uh, right? Says, oh, let's give them more reasons to believe they're in heaven. Let's give them more reasons to be happy. Let's give them more joy. Let's just keep giving them more reasons to say those words and feel that. And I love what you said about like
Well, that's
uh, a posse of angels, because I was like at an event and this well-known angel uh, person that you would know looked over and she was like, stay there, stay there. So she kind of greeted all the people and signed all the autographs, and then she came over and was like, believe in angels by any way? Any chance? I said, oh, you mean my posse? And she's like, oh, God, thank God. I said, what? She's like, I've never seen so many with one person. Like, what are you up to? What are you doing in this lifetime? And then I got to tell her.
Mm.
And at the time, I was like, I'm still waiting to write this book that I was told I was going to write. And I told her about it. And she was just like, okay, because I mean, you, you, you see him, right? And I was like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's really cool, though, to have that, someone else see it.
Ah,
See it. Yes, exactly.
yeah.
I was telling Lisa the other day, I don't know what we were discussing. And I said, you know, the funny thing? Oh, I think it was about writing. And I told her how I thought I signed up for an art class and I wanted to take a painting class, right? I'm like, oh, this would be so much fun. You know, I'm an interior designer. I love working with colors and paint. I'm like, this would be great. So I get there and it's a book writing class.
That's
And I
awesome.
said, well, how did that happen? I said, how bizarre. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll take it. And now I laugh. I'm like, how it works. And
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
So just something like that. It's funny, but it obviously got my attention and said, okay, this is one of your purposes, your gifts.
Yeah.
And that's what one of my purposes is to share with other people that they each have a unique gift to share so that they can make a difference. And it
Mm.
can be being a mother. It doesn't matter. It's just finding that purpose and living it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we know when we're on purpose because we can feel aligned. It feels expansive. It feels like we're, like in the flow in our lives. And I love what you said, Kathy, about, the power is in the now moment. We don't have power in the past or in the future. It's right here, right now. And
Mm-hmm.
the power is in our feeling, our ability to feel what it is that we want, because we feel our reality into existence. And when we're looking at, when we are, Keith taking a quick break, right back with Keith, no problem. We will, we, in that present moment, when we feel happy, healthy, wealthy, aligned, we think we have to experience it in our physical life before we can feel it. I went for a long period of time being really unhappy in my life. And somebody said, I think it was Jim Self said, well, be happy, feel happy. I'm like, I don't have anything to be happy about. I can't feel happy. I don't have anything to be happy about. And then suddenly he was like, no, can you remember a time when you were happy? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure I've been happy at some point. He's like, well, just imagine being happy. What would that feel like? I just stopped for a minute and I went, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I could feel happy right now just by remembering it and then focusing on it. And then I realized, wait a minute, all of the happy, peaceful, confident, capable, dignity, honor, respect, all of these frequencies are available 24/7. And we get what we focus on. So when we're focused on the fear and the doubt and the worry and the guilt and the shame and the blame, we just keep creating more and more of that, because that's how the law of attraction works. The law of attraction says what you place your attention on, you will manifest. Ask and it is given. So with so much in the world these days, having our focused on the bad, on what we need to worry about, what we need to fear, what we need to worry about next, what's coming, what we just simply, humanity as a whole, just we watch it get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the law of attraction at work. So now I look at it as our jobs, the ones that are already talking with the angels, that are already on the spiritual path, start to show we can start to embody peace, ease, harmony right now, even though it may not appear that way in the external world. It will appear that way in the external world, and it starts to appear that way for us first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we
Yeah.
experience it for ourselves first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we radiate that out and we invite others into that space as well. So we're like the drop of water in the ocean of all that is. And when one drop of water lights up, then the next drop of water says, oh, wait, I can light up too. And we just keep lighting each other up. And that's how we enlighten the world. It's not about getting smarter. It's about bringing more light and love into the world and creating that peace and ease and harmony where we each can shine our own light.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you said about it's an inside job first and it's not out there. And I always say you have to believe it to see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reversal.
Yeah.
And we've all been programmed and brought up to see it first, to believe it.
Mm.
And it's opposite.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is just the way we've been programmed and the way we've been brought up. So
Mm-hmm.
now we may start to have these awarenesses
Right.
and say, huh,
Yeah.
this has been all backwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, right? So then it's like, wow, this is amazing. So I actually have to believe it to see it. And so there's that period of playing with that to
Mm-hmm.
see if it really is true for each one of us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can hear Fletch Rainey, who if you
Aw.
point up to that book uh, behind you,
Look behind
that,
Kathy.
Kathleen, that one. Yeah, so the person now Angel who inspired and told me about the Clickety-Clack, which is
Mhm.
what we did the whole book about.
Mhm.
You know, that space in between. Uh, he's going, tell him about feelinization. He taught me that people do visualization where they sit and they visualize, and so that does put the law of attraction in motion, like you said, Lisa. But he said when you start to feel what it would be like.
Mhm.
So like I used to see this house I was going to live in when I was in my 40s, and it was going to be in the mountains, and I was going to have, be a best-selling author and have this gorgeous wife, right? And and then then he taught me to feel what it would be like to have that thing. And in the feelinization,
Feel that.
he says it actually speeds up the time of manifestation. Visualization puts it in place, but when you get into the feeling, that it speeds up the rapidity of the manifestation. I was like, wow, that's cool. So
Exactly.
I started getting into that, and that's really when I have to believe it to see it, where I really saw physical manifestation of that being true, right?
Mhm.
Because me feeling it helped me believe it, and then once I believed it, because now I felt what it would be like to have that thing, and then it was like, poof, there it
Mhm.
was. And so everything started happening at a
Yeah.
rapid pace, which is this was a manifestation of that. This is Who Do You Think You Are book, like reaching out to the most famous people in the world and having every one of them say, yeah, sure, except for one, to be in my book, right? And and then going from Keith Who, that's who I was in my industry, Keith Who, to being known as the book guy in 1 year. Like that's huge leap. You usually have to go a long way before you get that kind of handle. But it was being mentored by all of the top authors and speakers and marketers in the world, them taking me under their wing, teaching me everything they know, me doing what they told me, changed everything, so that even they, like a year later, Joe Vitale calls me and says, hey, I'm putting out a new book, what do you think I should do for my launch? He created
Mm.
joint venture marketing. He's a god of marketing. And what do you think I should do that's new and fresh, with my launch, that isn't just the same thing I've been doing for years? And that was like, are you kidding me? Like in a year's time to go from that to that. But it was
Mhm.
feeling feeling so excited that they would share with me all of that, stepping into action, doing it, right? And that's another thing too. We can sit around all day long, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we can read the Bible all day long, and if we don't get off the couch and do things, put things in motion,
Take
go out,
action.
right, with action, then it's rarely does money fall through the ceiling and land in your lap, right? You usually go out and do something,
Yeah.
meet with someone to make it happen.
Another caveat that I would like to say for the listeners is when we feel into it, feel it as already so. Don't
Hmm.
see a separation. It's not when I get, or
Right.
there's no separation. It's in this moment, you're feeling it, and it comes to you. Because
Yes.
I've noticed people go into I want.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
You don't want
Yeah.
to want because then you'll keep wanting. So
Yeah.
that's a really small fine point that I just want to bring to everyone's attention.
Yes.
So Wayne Dyer is coming through. I love Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
And he would always talk about thinking from the end.
Yeah.
So see it is already so. And then the universe conspires to bring it to us.
Yeah. I'm so
Thanks,
glad.
Wayne.
I'm so glad that I already have, that I have that. I'm so glad that
Exactly.
I'm, I'm just always in already having received it, right? Um,
Yeah.
my wife all the time says, "I loved how we," and then she's as if it already is so. It's already happened, and we're looking at it from it's already been manifested, and that's the way to click it into high gear, boy.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to, as angelic beings that we
Yeah.
are here to experience ourselves in the physical realm.
Yeah.
So the way the whole game works is we take the non-physical things, ideas, wants, desires. Those are
Right.
non-physical things. They haven't been manifest yet in our lives. We take those things and we focus on them with our third eye, our visualization, our imagination, which is our most powerful tool.
Mm,
And then we feel those things. And as we imagine and focus and then feel with our bodies are the part of us that then vibrate out the frequency
yeah.
and vibration, and it's the law of attraction that is matching our vibration.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah.
body is like our paintbrush, like the colors, the paints are our wants and our desires, and I want to feel happy and healthy and wealthy, and
Yeah.
all of those are the colors. Then the body is like the paintbrush. We bring it all in and we feel it and we vibrate with it, and then it shows up on the canvas of our lives.
Hmm.
It's like so
Hmm.
so simple and so elegant, but we haven't as humanity yet quite put those pieces together.
Mm. And those who love the teachings of Jesus, like he was saying exactly what we're saying right now, all day long. It happens as you believe, you receive, pray believing that you'll receive, faith of a mustard seed, like said it a million different ways. And then still everybody tried to say, it's you. And he was like, no, 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 no. Wait, okay, I and the Father are one doesn't mean I'm it means I'm made up of the God stuff. I'm made up of the energy. Like what I say happens, but only every time because I believe before I see, right? I believe that it'll happen. But you cured me from blindness. No, I didn't. You believing that I would cure you of blindness cured you of blindness. It was your belief that made it happen. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. He was like, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, all day long. No, and everybody pointed it back, and he was just like, I like to say, if Jesus was here today, he'd be like, is this thing on? Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Check 1, 2, 3. You know, and he just was like the number one prover of law of attraction, law
Mm.
of all the spiritual laws. There's so many more laws than the law of attraction, and he was like proved all of them, not just talked about them, proved them, right? As did
He exemplified it.
all the master teachers, yeah, all the Buddha, and
And they are
all,
with us.
Yeah.
all right now. And so they planted the seed. Jesus
Yes.
came, Yeshua's name, he planted the seed. And he's reminding each one of us that we are here to plant our own seed and to
Yes.
exemplify and to
Hmm.
be the peace, to be the love, to be the
Yes.
light, no matter what's going on. And then
Hmm.
that's how this beautiful ripple effect occurs.
Hmm.
It really is magnificent when we can continue to stay in that place. And I
Hmm.
was always amazed at how he could continue to be peaceful when he would be, I mean, crucified. I mean, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And one of the he's with us right now,
Yeah.
and he's talking about the power of forgiveness
Yeah.
and to forgive ourselves first and foremost for what we have done knowingly and unknowingly. And by invoking, we are being released from anything. And to forgive ourselves and to forgive others. And the way through this would be compassion, mercy, and kindness. So, right now, if we could all just, even if we want to put our hand on our heart, and the woodpecker's outside banging away, he's like, getting the point, getting the point. I love how it all works. And for each one of us to feel, and in this moment in time is all we have to offer ourselves forgiveness. We did the best we knew how at that moment in time. And when we can accept ourselves and appreciate ourselves, then we move into that place of harmony and peace and bliss. Thank you.
Hmm.
We're all blessed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
And see how easy it was to come into that space, how the energies just kind of changed, they smoothed out. We could feel all of the energies just getting quiet and expanding. That's all it takes, is to
Hmm.
just start getting quiet. And instead of focusing on the clickety clack of our lives, to just bring our attention inside. What is it that we'd rather experience? What would we rather feel in our bodies? You know, one of the things that Keith said in the beginning was that our guardian angel's job is to love us unconditionally. And when we focus on our guardian angels, when we open up communication, they don't talk to us in words. It's not like we're going to get a phone call and say, hey, Lisa, I got a message for you. They talk in feelings and in awarenesses. And when we become aware of our angels, we can open up that awareness. We can open up our energy field and we can receive the unconditional love that they are sending to us every minute of every day. They are here to embrace us and envelop us in unconditional love. Can we open up our hearts and receive that love? Can we allow ourselves to feel the unconditional love and support that they have for us? Because when we can feel loved and supported, when we can feel safe and secure in ourselves, knowing that the entire angelic realm has got our backs, that we are supported and loved unconditionally by all of the angelic realms. We can start to feel loved and supported no matter what's going on in our lives. And when we can feel loved and supported, everything changes. When we feel that stability from within, we realize that we never did make any mistakes. We were always doing the best we could in every moment. Every being is doing the very best they can. So the angelic realm, they have no judgment at all, none, just love.
Mhm.
And when we can love ourselves without judging ourselves, without judging each other, when we can simply open up and receive the love, the guidance, all that is here for us from the non-physical realms, we can change the entire physical realm because we start acting in harmony with the angelic realm. As we receive their unconditional love for us, we realize that we too can have unconditional love for all of humanity. This is how heaven on earth comes to be. We embody it first by allowing ourselves to feel the unconditional love. And then we can vibrate that out to all the rest of humanity.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, my wife likes to say, you know, we're made in the image and likeness of the creator, and the creator doesn't make any mistakes, therefore I don't make any mistakes. If it appears like I've made a mistake, I look at that and what can I learn from that thing, and what I do moving forward from there is why I created it in the first place.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I like to say if there is a sin, such thing as a sin, it would be repeating the same mistake over and over again and not learning the lesson.
Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Doing the same
Right.
thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. My sister, she's laughing because she knows what I'm gonna say, but my sister, who's since passed, was the queen of that, repeating mistakes. And even as a child, I would be like, what? Didn't you get it? Like I got the lesson like the second time, like why do you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again? She would say, yeah, why do I do that? And I was like, that's it. Why? That's the wrong question to ask. Why is this happening to me? The universe goes, yeah, why? And keeps giving you reasons to ask the question why over and over again. How can I learn from this? What can I do that's different this time? How and what questions? Those are questions you want to ask.
That's
Why questions? Not so much.
exactly. Or the what's wrong with me questions,
Yeah. What is wrong with you? Keep giving you
right?
reasons to ask that. Oh, man.
Exactly. It's
If we would
like,
just if we just knew that words create, whether they're positive or negative, good, bad, seemingly any of that, like it what you say happens, but only every time. If you kept track of everything you said in a journal, whether it took 1 week or a year or two, it always comes true. So that is truth with the capital T. What we say comes to pass. And we knew that. Would we then be more careful with our words? Would we speak kindly of others? Would we love ourselves, like you were saying, Kathleen? Like that's loving unconditionally, right? That was like the biggest teacher I got from the J man, right? From Jesus Christos, right? Was that even even in crucifixion was still loving. Like that's like wow, right? And that's what I aspire to be. And I've always, my wife Mara wrote, she said Keith lives to prove that the things that guy said were true, right? Like literally lives to prove. And that's what I've been about since I was a kid. Like, okay, well, then I would just want to be a walking, talking demonstration of those things that I was born knowing. Like I didn't have to read the Bible. As a kid, I would say things and they'd go, "Oh, that's Matthew 12," and I would go, "Oh, well, I haven't read it yet." Like I was born knowing these things already, and trying to walk and talk and be a demonstration of those. And that's what I would love people to say. When I'm there in the room at my funeral service, listening to everybody, that everybody who got up said, I felt like when I was with Keith, I felt like I was the only one.
Mm.
Like he was just there with me. Like he just loved me so much, and he just gave and gave and freely gave and loved unconditionally. That's what I want to be, a walking, talking demonstration of, and live to serve into.
You are certainly doing a very good job of it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
One thing that I wanted to bring into this, if I could, it's just a little glimpse. If we could connect with our audience
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
introduce them to their guardian angels. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we just want to get quiet and maybe take those 3 gentle breaths, 3 circular breaths, breathing in and exhaling, breathing in and exhaling. If you're in your mind, just bring it down, take an elevator down to your heart, breathing in and exhaling. So now imagine, if you will, you're at this beautiful beach. The breeze feels perfect on your skin. The sun is shining brightly, with some puffy clouds just floating by. The sand beneath your feet. And now, just like we would sense if there's a person near us, just begin to open up your heart and receive the possibility that your guardian angel is with you right now. You see, we all have energetic frequencies, the angelic realm as well. They have personalities and frequencies. So as you're feeling into that, feel in your back, the column of your back, the spine. You become aware your guardian angel is with you right now. Just kind of breathe into that, not needing anything, just allowing anything to flow to you. Does it feel large? Like large wings, strong? Or is it softer, more comforting? Does it feel like a masculine energy or a feminine energy? Or maybe it's neutral. It doesn't really feel masculine or feminine. As you're allowing yourself to be in this space, you feel the acceptance and the love within your heart. Feel their large wings enveloping you. Feel the comfort. Feel the peace. Feel the joy. And now take a moment to ask your guardian angel to assist you in whatever way you would like. If it's to make themselves known, If you want to ask them their name, whatever comes through, be open to receive without any attachments or expectations. Beautiful. It's like you've picked up the phone and you've made the call to your guardian angel. You've opened up that communication channel. So now you can talk. And it's kind of like your best friend. The more that you connect with them, the stronger the relationship becomes. Thank them for being with you. They're with you 24/7. Their gift is that unconditional, non judgmental love. They offer you guidance in love, peace, joy in all areas of your life, whether it be relationships, business, family, home. Ask and be open to receive. And as you thank them, know that they will always be with you whenever you put your attention on it. And ask. We've been given free will. Ask for help and be open to receive. As the information comes through in natural ways, you may hear it, you may see it, you may feel it, and you may know it. Trust yourself and know you are divine love and light. So, breathing that in, you can breathe your eyes open in gratitude for making the connection with your guardian angel.
Yay!
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 They were like, yay, we want to introduce ourselves to them. I'm like, okay.
All right, all right. Yeah, and can I add on really quick?
Oh, yeah,
I love to
absolutely.
I love to say, show up for me in ways that I will know that it's you, and then
That's beautiful.
Love that.
show up in ways that I will know that it's you, and then you can even
Mhm.
take it a step further and say that means even if, and then fill in ways that it would mean something to you. So even if I ask a question and I turn on the radio and the next song that plays is the answer to the
Mhm.
question, I will know it's you.
Exactly.
Even if I'm walking, asking a question as a mantra spinning in my mind, and a couple walks by and their conversation answers my question, I know it's you.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
and like the more specific you can even get, then they're just like yes, and which really brings the energy to receiving the answer. And once you start to do this, for those of you who are kind of new to this, um, not only will you see answers to the questions that you ask, see, sense, hear, feel, all of these things, but you'll start to see ways where they were answered in the past and you had missed it.
Mhm.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, that was an answer, and I just like, right, because I wasn't focused I didn't stay in the question, which goes back to sit, ask, and listen, right? All of my
Mm.
demonstration, this first international best-selling, attracting all of those famous people, this book, the Clickety-Clack book, it's all been staying in one question until I receive the answer. And with this one, that was 2 weeks I sat in the one question about what this book was to be about. 2 weeks in nothing but the silence unless I had to go to the restroom or eat. And and that's how long it took. But when it came, it came like a flood, including the process of how to ask these famous people to be in the book. And they said yes.
Mhm.
Like everything about the whole project, I decided to do that. And that's where I really learned how to be really manifest from that place, was during that book project. And then many of those teachers taught me even more, like how to
Mhm.
manifest while you sleep. How would you like to be able to do that? Right?
Yes.
Very
All the
It's
time.
yeah, 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 and it's about inviting before you go to sleep. I'm asking this question.
Mhm.
Please bring it to me in the form of a dream. thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, amen, however you like to end it. And then for me, I'll remember my dreams, I'll remember my dreams, I'll remember my dreams. I say at least 50 times until I do it till I go to sleep, but I recommend at least 50 times because I wasn't remembering my dreams when I got that process from John Kehoe from this book taught that to me. Uh, I wasn't remembering my dreams, but I did that, and then I did remember my dreams. And then I get a dream journal and I write down as soon as I wake up what I received, and the answer's there. And if it's not, you write it down and you take that and show it to someone else. If you're just not getting it, show it to someone else, and they'll go, "Oh, clearly that means," and then they'll tell you that just means you're too close to it.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah. So thank you
And
for that process. It's beautiful.
yeah, you're welcome. And it's true with the how the information comes through and asking them, because some people don't believe it. They don't believe they're getting their messages. So I'll even say to them, well, ask the angels to give you a message that you'll understand, which is what you were saying. So one woman in particular, she said, okay, she said it had to do with shells. So she came back and she said, oh my God, she said, you were right. She said, I kept getting the messages of the shells. She said, I got it in a necklace. I got it in a magazine. I got it in a dream, letting her know that it was true.
Mm,
So it has to be believable for you. So you may even ask them, like, give me a sign that I can hear. And again, it could be the music, it could be the conversation, or it could be give me a message in visual that I see in nature with the animal. It's the more specific you are, then you're like, oh, this is real. For
yeah.
those ones that may be on the cusp.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, the more we sit in the stillness and the more we focus on the non-physical realms, we start to open up a whole new way of living, a whole new level of ease and grace, a whole new level of inner knowing, so that we can't get fooled by the external circumstances. We can't get talked into things that aren't for our highest good. We don't get sucked into the clickety-clack nearly as much, or for as long. If we do get sucked in,
Right.
all of a sudden it'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me return to center. So it's such a beautiful space to exist in heaven on earth. It's not a place, it's a state of being.
Yeah, that's your message every Sunday. It really is. I've noticed. I love it. I love it.
I
Yeah,
love it that you've
and
been
it's really about an understanding, not an understanding. Right?
exactly.
An understanding. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. When we start to operate from this space, we start to see a completely different experience, a different landscape. We see things differently from our expanded self, from our higher selves.
Hmm.
So what appears on the surface, things are not always as they seem. I remember clearly back in college when at lunch, like in the lunchroom, somebody had used a fork and carved into the lunch tray. Everything is wrong. And I thought, oh my God, there's like $50,000 worth of education for you, in my, and now
Down
I'm
the
like,
drain.
and now I'm like, wow, that was like the most profound thing I've ever read. It's like, it's true. Like everything we've been taught is completely backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kathleen, you used the word programming really early on, and I was like, yeah. And that's the thing is, the world has been set up to program us that this stuff doesn't exist, and to program that the opposite of what we're talking about today is true. And so in a sense, when we're connecting with higher self, God, spirit, universe, angels, all of that, it's a reprogramming uh, of the truth. It's an unprogramming of the hologram lie that's out there that tells you that you're not good enough. And doesn't that starts from commercials, TV,
Yeah.
school, like everywhere I went when I was a child. I was like a baby, and when I was going goo 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 and couldn't walk yet, everybody was like, I love you," and then when I was crawling, it was still like, "Oh, look at you, oh, good job, good job." But the second I stood up and reached out to touch something, it was, "No, no, don't touch that, no, bad, bad," and it started from the second I touched out and reached something
Yeah.
and just went from there. So thank God for prayer and meditation and angels for
Mhm.
showing up so many times that I could no longer deny them anymore. Thank God for these tools. Thank God for Kathleen. Thank God for Lisa, to bring what I call the truth with a capital T forward, right? And out and not and have the guts to say this stuff that the three of us are willing to tell you the truth. No matter if you judge us, we still love you unconditionally. All good, right? Because we're here to bring this forth. So we're stepping forth, manifesting why we're here on this earth, our very purpose, right here, right now, in real time. And for us, this is heaven on earth. This is what Lisa was talking about. We have created it right now for the three of us together. Trilogy, interesting. The three of us
Yeah.
together. So that we're creating our heaven on earth in this moment right now, and that is sharing with you what we know to be the truth and are excited to hear that you did today moving forward. Any experiences that you had, please write and let us know. That also feeds us and helps us remember all day long, because you don't know that the minute you send that message, hey, this happened, thank you, could be the moment that one of the three
Mhm.
of us has kind of had a doubt for a second or not having a great day, like, or a great moment. You never know when that comes, you know, and we're just like, oh, yes, brought right back. You could be an angel for us by sharing what this meant to you today.
Absolutely. If anybody's watching in the Facebook group and has any questions or comments, feel free. I see there are
Yeah, I
many
was looking for
watching.
those.
Yeah,
A lot of comments.
absolutely.
Carol said she felt like during the evoking, inviting process, that it felt like that her father was the guardian that showed
Oh.
up for her. So Carol, that happens a lot. Fathers do show up. It's like, you think they loved you and protected you when you were here. Ooh, some of them are like, not willing to let that go just yet, right? And so they will stick around and protect you for a while and be your guardian. And since there is no time and space, it really doesn't exist. When you're in the etheric realm, like, our lifetime could be 5 seconds to them. They only had to stick around for 5 more seconds to be there for you as your guardian, right? And then meet you and then take off together. So all of this is possible. My angel said, if you can think it, it is. He
Absolutely.
didn't say is a possibility, could be, might be. He said, if you can even think it, it is. And
Yes.
that was such a huge, huge thing for me to sit and ponder and consider.
Absolutely, because we wouldn't be able to imagine if it didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to imagine it.
Yes.
So all possibilities exist simultaneously right here, right now. So we can, by
Hmm.
focusing our imagination, our intention on our attention, we can manifest anything that we can imagine.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Yeah.
So I know that we could talk forever on this. But, so for anybody that is watching on YouTube later on, if this conversation has been helpful to you and you think it would be helpful to others, please feel free to share. We go live every Sunday at 10 a.m. in Soul Sourced Healing, my Facebook group. And then we upload to YouTube so everyone can share. And you don't have to be part of my group to see this. So, my dad, look at that. He's popped
Aw.
on. Very nice. Hi,
Hi,
Dad.
Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Great. So to start wrapping it up, let's make sure that everybody knows how to reach all of us. So Kathy, where do people reach you? How can they learn more and connect with you?
Okay, so my website is Kathy Bradley and the Angels. So it's KATHYBRADLEY and AND theangels.com. And do you want emails or no?
Sure, as
You
long
want
as
to add that
they
in
can
later?
reach you through your
Okay.
website, right? They can send you a message through there.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
exactly. So thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. I love you guys.
Oh,
Mm,
love
yeah.
you too. This has been great. And how about you, Keith? Where can everybody find you? The book guy.
As my dear mentor and friend Joe Vitale would say, I'm not hiding. So just type in Keith Leon S into Google, and a lot will pop up there, including my main websites, where you can reach me through there. But you can also learn and watch a lot of videos and see a lot of things just by typing in Keith Leon S. You'll find me, and also here on Facebook, Keith Leon 1 is the page, Facebook/Keith Leon 1. Don't know how I got that, but it's cool. Uh, that's my page, and I'd love to hear from each of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And my name is Lisa Warner. You can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com, where I help you connect to the wisdom of your soul for ultimate well-being. We
Yes.
are ultimately well-beings. That's who we are.
Ah,
We are each here to start
Sure.
creating our own heaven on earth so that we can create an entire heaven on earth for all of us.
Shay. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle
Thank you.
Ford, saying
So
thank you so much for sharing. What a beautiful Sunday made possible. Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. So until next week, create for yourselves a great week and allow yourselves to feel the unconditional love of the angelic realm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everyone. Until next
thank
week,
you.
have a great week.
Fine.